Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to Supreme Leverage once again. On this show, I will be hosting you alongside Mr. Yusuf Abubakar, and I am Olabisi Oshibowale, Key Stage 2 Coordinator of Junior School. Mr. Yusuf,
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's nice to be
our,
here. Hmm.
our topic for today is Plan B for students. Plan B for students. And today we have an amazing host on the show, Mrs. F.T. Daniels. She is a lead therapist at Bila Therapy. She is passionate about helping individuals and couples solve their problems and understanding their emotions. She provides group therapy, a support intervention for victims and survivors of abuse and trauma that helps them heal and attain self-recovery and emotional balance.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Shubawale. Our guest for today, Miss F.T. Daniels, she also provides therapy for therapy and counseling for intending couples. And apart from that, she also deals with try to assist students and persons that are struggling with mental health issues as well. So, thank you very much, Mr. Shubali. Once again, Miss F.T. Daniels, you are welcome to this wonderful program. Yes, so how are you
So,
doing?
Thank you
Miss
so
Mm,
very much.
yes, so I'll use this
I'm very fine,
opportunity.
thank you.
All right, thank you. I also use the opportunity to welcome our viewers who have been faithful to this program. Hopefully, the next 60 minutes we worth the time. So we thank you for your time and we thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. So, on behalf of the original host of this program, Mrs. Olubukola Adeoyi, the CEO, Supreme Education Foundation, I hereby welcome you to this episode of Supreme Leverage. Thank you. So, please tell us about yourself and what you do.
Thank you so very much. I'm glad to be here. I love it here. Okay, my name is Feintola Daniels. I'm a psychotherapist. I help people heal from the pain of abuse. I help people to also have amazing marriages, amazing relationship. I also help people heal from mental health issues and help them resolve emotional imbalances. Also, I am the lead counselor for Brilla Therapy, and I also help young ones, people growing up, teenagers, children, to also regulate their emotional balance. That's what I do as a psychotherapist.
Fantastic. Has a good one. Thank you very much. And I'm sure our viewers are happy for you to listen. Yes. So when we say plan B for students, please take us through what it means. The concept of having plan B as a student.
Great. So, it is in the best interest of students that they don't just go on a one lane direction or a one way direction. It's important that children or young ones, teenagers as well, have other means of development, other ways of growing, other ways of learning things and being diverse in the things they do. And that is why we're saying that there should be plan B aside the normal classes, lectures, aside going to school, aside receiving doing assignments and the likes. There should be other things that can help the children to develop while they're growing up, develop their career that can be that can serve as an exposure to these children to even determine where they want to be, I mean, or what they want to do when they grow up. Most of the time, for examples, we that are adults, if we knew that most of us, I know, right? If we knew that this is what we'll be doing, we probably would have started probably when we're in secondary school or university. But a lot of people came out of school, came out of university before they found their path. And it took a long while, it took years for some people. For other people, they were able to find their feet on time. But for others, it took donkey years. And that's why we're saying that instead of waiting that much years, instead of waiting for so long, it is better we start early. And there's this saying that says, catch them young. You know, when children know what they want to do, it would actually help them and guide their thoughts, guide their actions to development.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hefty Daniels. What's your take about the concept of students having Plan B?
I totally subscribe to it, and I'm saying that it's one of the ways that have helped a lot of children these days. And thank God that we're going on the long vacation that I think the third term holiday, right? So a number of times children are also still bombarded with um, educational activities. They are still bombarded with the normal things they do in school, but not totally guiding to their career path. And that's why we say and that's why I say that it is best that while children are growing up, we should encourage them to have a plan B. Plan B in the sense that, okay, instead of still going through the normal education thing, are there other ways, are there extracurricular activities that they can begin to do that can help them um, increase their intelligence and also guide their future path or their career? For example, the jobs we have these days, they are quite different from the jobs we have about 10 years, 15 years ago. So if we help children and introduce them to the kinds of job that are in vogue these days, it will be better. We're in the jet age, generation Z, right? So these children, and they're very smart. They learn things a lot. They can learn a couple of things at the same time than a fellow adult. So it is best that they are exposed to plan B. Some options are vocational activities that they can begin to do. A lot of time people still wait till when they graduate from school, when they leave, when they go from secondary school to the university, from university they come out, serve again. After serving, wait for the government or maybe one godfather or uncle somewhere that would help somebody. But if a lot of people can be coding is there. If a lot of children are even coding these days, they are building softwares, amazing things. Some people are into digital marketing. Some people are doing makeup. There was no makeup some years ago, like a makeup artist, and they are doing well big time. Digital marketers, social media handlers, they are doing well big time. Website designers, all these jobs were not there so many years ago, other than the ones we just do when we have career day, that we just do the doctors, we just do the lawyers, we just do which other one, engineer, where they wear those attires and everything. But really those jobs are still very much good in our society, but it doesn't stop there. There are a lot of other things that can be done, a lot of other things that are relevant to our society these days, that even if you're not doing it, even if you're not if children are not exposed to it, they may be lagging behind. That's why I subscribe that children should be exposed to plan B, and parents and teachers should help children, guide them to have plan Bs. Some of these children may not even be interested in education as much, but when there's a plan B can actually be used as a bait to teach children what they need to know. Some people, for example, I watched a movie one time, I don't know if you've seen it, like Stars on Earth, and there was this guy, this small boy, that he was different from his brother. His parents would compare him to his elder brother. You can't do this, you can't do that, and all that. But really, it's not the child's fault. The child will see numbers and the numbers will be dancing. The child would is if the child was interested in other things, creativity, creative activities, colors and the like, until a lot of teachers were just like, oh, what's wrong with this guy, he doesn't know anything. Students were abusing him, teachers, his parents, everybody gave up on him, until one music teacher came. And when the music teacher saw that, oh, this guy is a creative person, he used colors, drawings to teach the guy English and mathematics. Do you get? But if an average parent in this part of the world will be like, why would you be coloring? Is it only color you want to do? Is it only this? Is it only that? You know, those are things that can be limiting. But if we see beyond that, we'll see that there are a lot of areas that can be touched. And that's why I said plan B is a must, is important for parents to begin to see it. And really, there are no jobs these days for a lot of careers that we see. There's so, strike here and there. We have more doctors now than the hospitals available. We have more lawyers than the courtrooms available and the likes. And it's going to be like that until there's a change. So when we as parents or as teachers begin to see that, okay, let's introduce other things into these children's life, it will be a great advantage for them.
Yes, thank you very much. That's a good one, and I like the fact that you were able to explain or to tell us that the jobs of 15 years ago is different from the jobs that you're having now. And I also like the fact that you went further to explain, you to give examples of such jobs like digital marketing. It was not in existence 15 years ago. That is a good one. Thank you very much, ma'am. Could you please share some examples of Plan B? We want our students to have a concrete example. Let's go specifics now.
Okay. For example, that I'm going to start off from that digital marketing that you said.
Yes, please.
There are really no schools, as in like tertiary institutions set up mainly for this cause, but it's jobs that are making money for people, and then people are earning from it. Digital marketing is one of it. These days there are a lot of organizations and um small businesses, SME, medium-sized businesses also, that use social media handlers. They are quite different from digital marketers as well. We have social media influencers. They are different as well. Years ago we would normally do the PR, I mean the television adverts, the print adverts, and maybe mouth to mouth adverts, somebody saying, oh, why not buy this, why not buy that. But now this age, a lot of people are making money from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and the likes. What did they do? They Because they have more followers than some other people, so they get to advertise people's product. They become brand ambassadors for people, and these things are not far-fetched. Somebody can just do that. There are a lot of people that just intentionally build their pages to become influencers, to be able to earn from their page. We have other people that do adverts for people too, those do social media adverts for people. Then let's come back to makeup. Makeup, a lot of people are making money from makeup too. Yes, gele, hair tying, we have, I know quite a number of names. There's this Onigele guy. He does gele for people, for celebrities, for the big people of the state, and he's making money from it. We've heard of people that make money as well, and they package it to make it nice for people, and they are selling it big time. Also, photography was not the way it is now. It wasn't like that years ago, right? Where we just use the negative and then you're holding it like this and you're seeing, trying to see yourself if it's clear and like that. But now we have various kinds of photography. We have children, people that focus on children photography, food photography, normal portrait photography. Videography is now there. Do you get? Some people are even doing live stream of events, and that's just what they do. Coding, they just begin to build apps. Now that some people were saying that now that Twitter has been banned, it's time for Nigerians to actually sit back and build their own apps for themselves. It's a way to, it's a plan B as well. All right. So also We also have people that just write for people, that just proofread. It has been there, but now people are actually taking it lightly. They are taking it more seriously these days. It's important. So these are things that people can begin to see. Chef, then we just have caterers that just go to parties, oh, and bear, and they just cook like that. But now you can sit in the comfort of your home, just get to learn how to make some food, and then get certified for it. Then you're a chef, you just cook for people for their birthdays and the like. A lot of things, a number of things are really, really things that people can begin to do. And the long holiday is also a time to open their minds up to these things. It's also a time to also let them know and begin to choose the career they actually want, because it can actually lead. Music was not like this years before, right? So there are things that pencil painting. Have you seen some paintings these days? It's amazing. There are ways that we can actually expose our children to, so that they begin to learn from it.
That's amazing. FT Daniels, we're enjoying this. And now that you told us different vocations that children can pick alongside their normal academy, um, but basically, we would like to know what must we focus on, when educating a typical African child.
Great. So it's still basically what we've been trying to talk about, in the sense that we shouldn't be too strict with the way we teach. We should try to ex we should try to expose and expand their minds to other things that are happening. So this means that even our teachers need to learn and begin to improve on the way they teach, okay, and also begin to improve on the way they see things. Sometimes even teachers who are the ones that limit the children. When children do not want to do some certain things or learn some certain things, we shouldn't be quick to shut them down. So we ourselves should be open to these new ideas. Let's be open to these creative ideas and begin to use them to teach. Like the example I mentioned, the movie like Stars on Earth, where the teacher actually used another means, a creative means, to teach the child, and eventually told the parent that, oh, it's not that your child is dumb or your child does not know some certain things, just that his own strength is quite different from the strengths of other people. So we should begin to recognize the strengths of each children. We should recognize their capacity, and not just teach everybody the same thing and just dump everything there. No, let's begin to evaluate their strengths, see what each child is good at, and help the child to sharpen that skills, help the child to sharpen that part, rather than just shut them and say, oh, you don't want to be a lawyer, you don't want to be an accountant. Do you get? So there are other ways that we can actually do that for them.
Yes, thank you very much, man. That was a wonderful response to that question. Comments are coming in from our viewers. Mr. Rotimi Itayo is saying, how can we raise students with industry in mind? I think that's not a comment, that's a question. So we'd love to have other comment too. I think we have more comments here, but we will read them as we move on. But can you please respond to that question? How can we raise students with industry in mind? Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Rotimi Itayo, for that.
Okay. So how can we can begin to raise students with industries in mind, in the sense that, let's begin to, what are the industries available? First, let's find out which industries are available, and which industries these children or these students would like to um, focus on. When these children know the industry they want to focus on, we can now begin to acquaint them with this industry. Let them know, if, for example, they can begin to go on excursions to this place, or have internship, or a 1 week or 2 week experience in those places. Yes, more like an internship, where they can begin to see and learn from those industries, and begin to also know what they can do to actually stand firm in that industry and become a part and parcel of that industry. So, but if we do not find the industries available, and also know um which of them the children or the students would like to focus on, it might be difficult for them to be able to work with them since they don't know. So first they need to be aware of which industries are available. There are numerous industries, with the media industry, the food industry, a lot of industry, creative industry. So the student needs to be first of aware of which industry and then acquaint themselves with that industry.
Fantastic. That's a good one. Self-awareness on the nature of the industry at the moment. Yes. Yeah, another quick question, please. How early should counseling be introduced to students? Is it at primary, secondary, or tertiary institution level? Some of us started receiving counseling at the exit point of our university days. So, how
Mm.
early should we introduce counseling, please?
That's a fantastic one. Just like you said, a number of youth these days, if they knew if they know that this is what they will be doing, or that job or that business is what they will be doing, they would have started earlier. And the mistake we make in this part of the world, but although some schools are realizing it, is that counseling is introduced in the secondary school, which is not supposed to be. There was this video I saw one time of is it American Girl now, a nursery school girl, and they asked her, "Oh, what do you want to be?" And she said, "Oh, she wanted to be a witch." She was funny, but she knew what she wanted to be. And do you know why she could say that? Because she was exposed to magic and all the lights. She would have seen it, she would have heard it, she would have read about it. And probably asked questions here and there, and maybe she now eventually chose it. What I'm trying to say is this: that career counseling should start from childhood, from from primary school, childhood, in the sense that if we can do career day in primary school, it is best to also start career counseling in primary school. It is because we tell them, "Oh, you're going to wear an attire of a doctor, wear an attire of a lawyer, wear an attire of a this, wear an attire of a that." That's why they chose those parts. So what if we start telling them about website designing, we start telling them about coding, we start introducing them to music, we start introducing them to other career opportunities at those tender age? It gives them a broader option to choose from. And in the process of telling them, in the process of discussing it with them, one will catch their fantasy and they will tell you, "Oh, this is what I want to do," or "That is what I want to do. Oh, I like that one instead." We've seen small children that have said they want to do music. We've seen small children that right from when they were small, they became DJs. And those are things that we don't even want to talk about these days. But these are careers that are springing up, and they are making money for people. Their people are earning from it. Do you understand?
Thank you very much. So, invariably, you are saying the earlier the better, that we should catch their
The
mind
earlier,
at a very
the
young
better.
age. That's a very good one.
Yes, not just
Fantastic.
also catching their mind, is also exposing. We as parents and as teachers, let's expose, let's be limitless, let's find out what are the opportunities that are available. So it is, if people know better, they will do better. Do you get? So if they are exposed to these things, they will choose from it. We have children, small children, the sites they visit, some adults don't even know how to get to those sites. The things
True.
they operate on a computer, some of us don't know how to do it. Do you get? These children can hack systems, these children can hack sites. How do they get to learn about it? How did they do it? It's because they were exposed to it. So as parents, as children, we should be saddled with that responsibility of exposing ourselves first to it, so that we can let them know, and not just limit it to the normal careers that we talk about, the doctor, the likes and likes and likes and likes.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Daniels. This
Yeah.
career day is a popular thing in our schools these days,
Mm.
and we've all learned that education obviously transcends beyond the four walls of the classroom, and I hope our viewers are taking notes on all of this. Mr. Rotimi Itayo is asking, what will you do to help a student turn between his career choice and the parent's preference? Is a question, and I think we need to look at that because most times we see our parents having preferences for their children taking particular courses, or going with a particular career. But when the child's interest or passion is totally different from that of the parent, how do we help this child? What do we need to do as the educator, as the adult guiding the child? Are you with me, Mrs. Daniels?
Yes, I am. You
Okay.
said, what will you do to help a student turn between his career choice and what? I didn't get that part.
And parent preference. So in case the parents want the
Okay.
child to be a doctor and the child wants to be maybe a journalist, so how do we help such child so that the child don't stray totally in the process of trying to listen to the parent?
Okay, great. We've had a lot of this, a couple of these challenges, and it's still very much happening where, because of the information or the knowledge or whatever that the parents think of, they believe that the career they have chosen for their children is better than the one the children want to choose. And this
Okay.
is it. Sometimes parents, number one, it is because of what must have happened to the parents, maybe an experience or something. Number
Mhm.
two, parents will just want to force their children to do it, believing that they can't make money or they can't earn as much from that career. Number three, it could be out of fear that the child may not get a job, right? And number
Yes.
four, it could, yeah, okay. Number four, it could also be that it was from the past failures of the parents. Do you get? They wanted to
Yes.
achieve that thing. We've seen some parents. I remember when I was growing up, my grandma wanted me to be a doctor because it was her dream to be a doctor, but she could not achieve it. So we, by force, by she had to call pastors, friends, neighbors, everybody to come and tell me one and one reasons why I should be a doctor. Do you get? So it was because
Mm.
it could be because of that. They just wanted their own dream to come through. So what we do
For the
when
child.
people have that challenge is that we sit the parents down here and we also sit the child down. We want to be sure that the child understands why he or she is choosing that career, not out of peer pressure or out of indecisiveness. Do you get? We want to be sure the moment that we are sure that that child knows the reason why he wants to choose that course, and he's sure that it's good enough for him or he's out of passion and he knows what he's doing, then we now sit the
Mm.
parents down to let them know. We also want to find out why the parent is enacting that career on the child. So by the time we get to sit them down to see reasons, we'll now talk to them. It's important that schools begin to talk to parents about it too, and not just allow parents to override the children. So let's talk to the
Mm.
parents. Let's see why they want them to do that career, and also open them up to the advantages of this career the child wants to choose. Let them know. By the time maybe they begin to see advantages and the good things in that other part, they may also agree. But it's important that parents do not enforce their own will on their children. Allow them to breathe, allow them to choose their own career, because their person is actually different from the parent's personality as well.
That's amazing. So, taking that further, we would like to know if there are tips that we can use, that teachers can use, to prepare students for emerging careers. Maybe we've noticed a particular trait in a child, and we say, oh, if we develop this trait, we can actually get this child to probably become a doctor or something. So, kindly share with us tips that we educators can use.
Okay, great. Okay, so there are number one tips, right? But one of the
Okay.
most important one is that the teacher should also be self-aware of the opportunities that is around. So that means that the teacher is also reading, is also um, learning. So we don't stop learning as teachers, right? And we do not
Okay.
limit it to just because I'm teaching English, let me stick with English, or let me stick with mathematics. Any other thing does not concern me. No, we should also broaden our own knowledge. We should be vast in whatever we are doing. Then number two, we should find creative means to teach children. We should be creative in the way we teach, innovative in the way we pass informations to children. The moment you notice that a child is not comprehending, or a child does not understand what is being taught, find a means to actually come down to the child's level. Find a means to come down to the child's level. Then number three is this, which is okay, is quite, let me just say it. So number three is that we should, as teachers, we should also learn to expose our mind to some, like I said, the industries that we mentioned the other time. Some
Mm.
teachers do not know some of these industries. Number four, we should allow children to also rest. After working, I'm reading and writing all day, let them rest. A child that is tired may not be able to comprehend as much. It's important that
Yes.
they rest. Resting is best for children. When they learn, sometimes they cannot comprehend, they don't even understand. Sometimes they're even sleepy already. So it's also important that we allow children to rest. Number five, teachers should also understand their own personality. Your personality as a teacher is important. We
Mm.
should understand your own personality, understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses, understand ways that you also cope with stress.
Mm.
Yes, a number of times when we have overworked ourselves, when you do not rest, it will affect the way you teach children. You are going to be transferring aggression and transferring those stresses to the children. So you need to rest as a teacher, understand your own strengths. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Which ways work for you, understand there are different kind of personalities. We have the melancholy, we have the phlegmatic, sanguine, and the choleric. So if you're a choleric person, how do you relate with children? If you're a sanguine
Mm.
person, how do you relate with children? If some people have said, oh, I can't teach some certain classes, I can teach only these classes. Yes, it's good, but sometimes you will have children that may not even be in your class, that may need to speak to you part time or per season. Do you get? So how, if you do not understand your personality, understand your weakness, understand your strength, you may not be able to deal with some certain types of children. And
That's
children can sometimes be stressful, right?
mm.
But in
Yes.
order not to be aggressive with them, you need to understand your own self.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And more questions from Mr. Rotimi Itayo. I would actually like to take comment from our viewers. We want to thank them for joining in. Yes, Mrs. Clementina Olutayo, she's saying awesome. Thank you very much, Mrs. Clementina Olutayo, for joining us. Thank you, Miss Arotimi is greeting us. Good evening, everyone. We are happy having you. Miss Clementina Olutayo is also saying parents and teachers should help them with a plan B by introducing other things to them. Thank you for joining us, Ma. And we have other questions. Yes, this is from Mr. Oshipo Wale Shegun. This is a nice initiative, but self-awareness is the key. I completely agree with you, sir. Fantastic. And thank you for joining in. Then back to Mr. Arotimi's question. This is a very good one coming from Mr. Arotimi. As a professional counselor, should money be placed in pursuit of a career? Most people tilt towards what's trending. What's your take on this, please?
Okay, great. So I'm going to answer by saying this. Number one, some people choose their career because of passion. Oh, I just like it. Oh, I just do this. I want to do it, and the likes. But the thing is, why do we work? Why are you, as an individual or as an adult, why do you work? Is to make money. And that is the fears of a lot of parents, that, oh, this career that you're choosing, are you sure you're going to make money from it? Sometimes when we do some things because of passion and we don't earn from it, or money does not come from it, the motivation will begin to reduce. So it's important that you earn from whatever you do. That's number one. So in the process of also exposing our children to plan B, we should also learn how to market or how to earn from whatever you're doing. Your child is into is using a keyboard or a piano, and then you just think, oh, it's just for personal thing, and the child says, oh, I want to be a musician, but you don't believe in it. So there are ways you can also learn how to market whatever the child is doing. So then he now said a lot of people are tilting towards trending in this part of the world, like in Nigeria especially. A lot of people jump on trends. And why do they do that? They believed or they've heard that people are making money from it. That's why a lot of people jump on these things. When makeup just started, a few people were doing it, and before you knew it, everybody started doing makeup, everybody started doing pop-off, everybody started doing, when they say now organic soap, everybody's making organic soap. Why? It is because they've heard that there is money there. Do you get? But like I said, it is important to have a passion for what you're doing, and also ensure that your passion can also earn you a living. So it's not
Hmm.
just jumping on trends. It's not just jumping on it. If you jump on it out of frustration, you will come out frustrated. But if it's something you have passion for, and then you also own your skills on how to earn from it, it will be better for you. So instead of jumping on it, that's why I said earlier when I was speaking that we should ensure we should find out why children are doing things. I mean, choosing the career they want to choose, or even teenagers, why are they choosing the career they want to choose? Is it out of peer pressure, or they like it and they want to do it? If it's because they have passion for it, then it's okay to also learn how to earn from whatever they are doing, rather than jump on it, because frustration and depression is actually real.
Thank you, man. That's a double header. The passion will make you enjoy what you are doing, and the fact that you are earning a living will sustain you. The fact that you are earning money will make you earn a living from it. That's a very good advice. Thank you very much. Yes, and I like the fact that you earlier touched on. Okay, maybe I should quickly take these questions. So what? So you touched on having to do things during the holidays, summer holidays. So it is in that light that I would like to ask this question. What solutions and programs do you have for summer holidays? So
Okay.
this your comment now should be directed at school administrators, teachers, head teachers to start planning as we move
Mm,
towards the summer holidays.
mm, good. Okay. So we thank God that the holidays are here. It's coming gradually. So one of the things we should begin to do is find vocational skills. I mean, have vocational skills for these children. And when I say vocational skills, it doesn't just have to end with soap making, fashion designing, all those ones. The coding that we've talked about, the photography, social media, management, photography, all those ones that we have mentioned earlier. Let's expand the reach of these children. Let's begin to introduce this these creative works to these children, rather than the normal ones that we know are all their class activities that they just do during the summer holiday. In fact, you see, most of these courses that we're talking about, you see, this photography, this social media thing, the digital marketing thing, coding and all, it doesn't take much time. You would hear that in 3 weeks you're a professional, in 4 weeks you're a professional, and the holiday is quite a long time to actually learn this and practice it well, right? So we should ensure that children have these varieties that they can pick from and begin to do them, rather than the normal holiday activities. It could be excursion too, excursion to sites that they need to see that can expand. We have wildlife photographers also, that they begin to see how I mean, the things they see, how they can imbibe it in their own passion and in their own career as well.
Wow, that's amazing, ma'am. You are really wowed us today with all the wonderful ideas that we can use to add spices to what we do and do it better, more differently. And we appreciate the idea, the package you have for the summer. We are looking forward to that. And before we go today, we're going to look into what the question Mr. Itayo asked for us. He said, how can we help children or students who are dealing with trauma or mental health issues during this academic session?
Mm, great one. So because we have come to an end of an academic session, it will be also good to actually, you know, evaluate the strengths and the results of these children. Also to evaluate their behavior, to evaluate their results, in all aspects. So one of the ways to deal with, or the way to actually deal with children going through trauma, is that this period is a good time to have counselors to sit with children. It's a good time to have mental health practitioners to sit with children, because really children also have things they are dealing with. We've had cases of a 4-year-old child that is not focusing on the education. You can imagine, like a nursery school child, what's she thinking about, what's happening and all. But because we just teach in school and the children at home, whatever is happening in the house can affect their academic performance. Whatever the children are going through in the house, maybe parents arguments, all those things can actually cause trauma for these children. So it's a good time to reflect on the results or the behaviors of these children, and have counselors to sit with them during this holiday, have people to talk to them, have people to evaluate them. Even teachers too, it's a good time to actually evaluate the strengths and the behaviors of teachers during the summer holiday, so that they'll be able to perform better when the school also resumes.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. Miss FT Daniels. Yes, so I'm happy you've touched on these mental issues and you are doing justice to some of the questions relating to that. My next question is on this, and I'll quickly add this, even though Mr. Ita is asking another question. Yes, and my question is this. You touched on it earlier that it could be stressful, it could be frustrating for teachers. So I'm thinking that teachers also should be prepared for things like this. So I wanted to touch on how or what teachers can do to get prepared. You agree with me that if you are not prepared for situations like this, your actions or inactions in class can make or mar the career of a student who is going through what we are discussing now. So, and that is why preparation for all of this is key. So, how do we as educators get prepared for things like this?
Great. So continuing from where I stopped, is the fact that teachers also need to be self-aware about these things, and then about themselves. You need to be aware of your person, aware of yourself, aware of your strengths, aware of your weaknesses. When you know your strengths, you will know, you will be able to focus more on it. And then when you know your weaknesses, you will know how to manage it. Sometimes the way we are wired, we may not be able to work on our weaknesses like that, like a whole lot of them, but you can manage it very well. You can manage it properly, that is not going to be affecting any other person. And you see, as teachers, we need to have empathy so that we'll be able to deal with children, because we have children with different behaviors, different attitude, and you can have like 10 or a number of them in a class. So you yourself, you need to have empathy. Also, your mental health has to be stable. Your mental health has to be stable. Your emotional, you have to be balanced emotionally. So what I would say is that this period is a time for teachers to reflect on themselves, is a time to evaluate themselves, and is a time to also sit with counselors. This period we can actually sit with counselors to relieve our stress, to relieve the stress of first term, second term, third term, and also manage um, the activities in the house. Whatever things that could be a stressor, whether from work, from the house, or from anywhere, You know, when you sit with a counselor, you will be able to identify it and be able to manage it, right? Because if you are frustrated, you would act out, you would lash out on the children, and it could look, you could you could be sacked for it. Do you understand? So it's a good time for teachers to sit with counselors to evaluate themselves. And also, if it is possible, it could be in a group, it could be in a team where team bonding is also there. Is a good time for teachers to also work with themselves and bond with themselves
All right,
rather
thank you
than
very
all okay.
yes, thank you very much. This is a triple header. Well, I agree with you. As teachers, we should also be aware of some of these things because you can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Yes. So, and but did you say teachers also should sit with counselors? That is not common in this part of the world.
Mm,
For us in this part of the world, you need to
exactly.
be mentally imbalanced. You need to be mad to go to a counselor. So how do we reconcile?
No. That's a myth actually, and that's why I'm emphasizing on it, because
Uh,
in this part of the world we believe that, oh,
yes,
you must be crazy to see a counselor. It is a myth. See, sitting with a counselor is to ensure that things get better, it's to find a way to make things work. You could sit with a counselor when things are bad, and you could sit with a counselor to improve yourself, to improve your performance. Do you get? So sitting with a counselor is important. A lot of people do not see the need, but it's just like when you've overworked yourself. Sometimes you need to relax. Do you get? And in the process of sitting with a counselor, the counselor sits with you to identify areas that you need to work on, identify things that are stressing you, identify your behavioral patterns, identify things that may debar you from being a good personality with the children. Do you understand? And these
yes,
things affect productivity, it affects performance with the children, it affects even the general outlook of a school, and you get to hear, oh, that school they beat children, oh, that school they shout on children. It's not that maybe they all shout on children, maybe just one teacher, lashed out, and the entire area is talking about it. So it's important that we sit with a counselor, and it's not because the teacher is not mentally balanced. It's just so that you can regulate your own um, mental states, because there's no health without mental health. What you do is you're working with your brain. Do you understand? And when you've overworked, it's best that you also take care of yourself. You also find time to relax, and one of the places to do that is sitting with a therapist.
all right, thank you very much. And by doing that, you also agree with me that you get a second perspective about yourself, this time
Yeah.
from an expert. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you have seen this movie or you've seen the novel, The Gifted Hand.
Yes, I have.
Yes,
Yes, I have.
and when it was tough for the
When
mom, yes, she
exactly.
visited a counselor. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just to reaffirm your response, what you have said. Thank you very much. From Mr. Rotimi Itayo, and that will be it. We'll just wrap up the program. Yes, I think it was just a network. Can you hear me? Are you still with us?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes. The question is a double header. How can one book a session with you? Is group discount permitted? I will say yes for you on your behalf.
Okay, so you can actually book a session with me. It's Brilla Therapy, and is it okay to mention my number?
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay, but if you can reach out to me on social media, or social
Yes.
media.
Please
It's
go ahead
Feintola
and mention.
Daniels.
Please go ahead and mention your number.
Okay, so it's Feintola Daniels on all social media accounts, and my number is 080 66 07 55 30. That's 080 66 07 5530. And you can also reach out to us on www.brillatherapy.com. Yes, we also offer discounts, and what we also have a package that we run for corporate organizations, schools, hospitals, and the like, where we get to train, I mean, to not train, where we get to sit with the workers of the organization so that they'll be able to achieve maximum performance at their
All
work and
right.
also at home.
All right. Thank you very much. More comment from Mrs. Lawa Rashidat Oyegbola. Her comment is indeed there is no health without mental health. That's a good one. Thank you. From okay, another viewer, Mrs. Lolade Akombi. This is awesome. Thank you very much. And no small thanks to our guest, Mrs. F.T. Daniel. Yes, this is from PJI. It's greeting us. Good evening, everyone. So thank you very much for coming. Priscilla is greeting good evening. Good evening from us too. So this is okay. Omobolanle Oluleye Obafemi. Awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of our viewers. Thank you for making it a day with us. So just to chip this in, I will starting you'll be kickstarting your program with me this summer, and I hope for me to be free as a starter. I need to get a response for that. I hope for me to
Okay,
be free.
we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. That's not an answer.
It's
Anyway,
an
thank you
answer.
very much for coming. And our viewers, thank you too for coming. Thank you for your comments, your questions, and we hope to do this together same time next week. Thank you and remain blessed.
Thank you so